Please explain to me what you mean by marriage is hard.
This is no joke the fourth time we have tried to record this video.
What is going
not
on?
quite sure what this energy is, but we're responding to this creator where she asks what's so hard about marriage. And although we are not married yet, we are engaged and we were married previously for 20 plus years, so we think we can kind of speak to this anomaly that happens. But I think why marriage is hard is because you're not with the right person. And this is going to trigger a lot of people that are in long-term marriages that are doing all the counseling and they're reading all the books and they're going on weekly date nights and they're communicating and they're trying so hard to make their marriages work because they have kids and they have longevity with that person and whatever else. But so many of the problems that people have in long marriages or in marriages in general are because they are not with the right person. And I will say now that I'm with my person, what is hard now is triggers from the past that come into play in our everyday from old relationships. But the foundation of our relationship is based on authenticity and knowing that we are each other's person on a soul level. And that drives everything forward. That just sets the cadence for the whole relationship. And so we're able to work through problems and we're able to always come back to a place of centeredness because we know we are each other's person.
So often we're in these long-term relationships with other people that we work hard at. You know, you put a lot of effort into those relationships. You know, for us both over a 20-year period in a marriage, and I would say there was certain successes through that, times of love for the other people, but they weren't our person. So that it wasn't on this level. It wasn't this divine union and this amazing connection that you have when you find your soulmate. But we still tried. We still worked hard. You still push through it because you think you're supposed to. You think you're supposed to create your person. But in reality, you can't. The truth of it is, if they're not your person, it's never going to work out. It's never going to be exactly what you actually need in your life to create happiness and joyful moments for you. Because with you and I, we knew immediately that we were each other's soulmate. We knew on day one, if we date, you know, that we would be together. You know, it was, and I said that because it's a joke between us. You know, that was something we said on day one, you know, in a joke.
Well, wait, let me tell the story. So
Okay.
On day one, we were coming back from our first date and we had this moment where he kissed me at the corner as we were walking back to our car, and he just shot his shot and kissed me. And it was like this moment where my world shifted and I was like, there are not words to explain what happened. So we were driving back to his house and he said, if we date, I'm going to take you to this place, you know? And I looked at him and I said, if we date, because it was like, I knew in that moment and he knew that we were going to date, if not do more. And this was very first date.
So that just tells you where we were. We were already that way after spending a few hours together, that we already knew. We already felt the energy. We already felt the strong vibe. We knew without a doubt in an early stages of ours who this person was across from us and how important that person was and how they felt and the energy and the vibe that we had with one another. And that only continued to grow over the next few dates. And like for us, the time frame was super accelerated because we knew. It was inside us. We felt it. We knew that we were each other's connection, that our souls were complete when we met.
And you won't know it until you feel it.
Right.
So that's why oftentimes people stay in these long relationships, because they can't conceptualize what it's like to be with my person or the person that I was meant to be with. And so they stay and they toil and labor to make their current partner that person, to create that energy and that vibe that he's referring to that we felt on our first date within the relationship. But you can't do it. And that's what makes it hard. That's what makes marriage hard.
Now you need to not only grow yourself and level your own personal self up and be true to you, but they need to be true to themselves as well within what they need in life. And so by you getting out of a negative relationship, a relationship that's not right for you because they're not your person, frees them. It allows them to be free too, even if they're not ready for it.
We just recorded a part 2 that we'll pin it next to this video on my page. But basically, if you're in that situation where you feel like this isn't your person, or you're having an inkling that this could be the cause of your problems, watch that video, because we talk about your kids and we talk about all the other factors that you're taking into consideration when you're staying with somebody that isn't your person. Even in the hard times that we have, which are few and far between, it's based on old triggers from past relationships that come up in this relationship. And what always brings us back to a place of steadiness is that knowledge that we are each other's person. That is the touchstone, that is the direction that always leads us out of those bad situations and back together.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think we've ever had a situation that was based on our relationship directly. I don't think we've ever had an argument. I don't think we've ever disagreed. I don't think we've ever had a moment that was related to you and I.
Right.
It's always been related to something that has triggered us from our past relationships and insecurities related to those that has created some type of small issue with us. But the positive thing with our relationship is that because we're so connected, we know when those moments happen. A lot of times you'll say something, you'll know that my energy's off immediately before I even realize what it is or why I'm off, and vice versa. We can read each other and feel each other's energy right away. And so we don't dwell on things. We don't draw it out. We don't wait a week to bring it up or talk about it. We address it right then. And then we work through it. We grow together from it. We become better. We level up in it because we know how to work through those situations and communicate. And we recognize, hey, that was our past. That's not our future. That's not our current. We need to just grow, continue, and we just need to do a little more work.
I didn't know that now.